I never imagined my life would play out like one of those dramatic stories you only hear about in whispers, but here I am, telling mine. It's about love, betrayal, and twists I never saw coming. Looking back now, I still get chills because of how close I came to losing everything, and how love somehow survived through the darkest turns. When I first met Daniel, I was 23 years old and working at a small publishing house. He was a graphic designer who had just started freelancing after moving back from overseas. We met through mutual friends at a birthday party, and from the first moment, I was hooked. Daniel wasn't like the guys I had dated before. He had this calm energy, this quiet confidence that drew people in without him even trying. He was tall, a little scruffy in a charming way, with dark eyes that seemed to see straight through me. We talked for hours at night about books, travel, and life dreams, and by the time the party ended, it felt like I had known him forever. Our relationship moved quickly. Within a few months, we were inseparable. We spent weekends exploring the city, cooking together, binge-watching old movies, and dreaming about the future. For the first time in my life, I felt safe, seen, and completely loved. By the time we hit 2 years together, we were talking seriously about marriage. Everyone around us said we were that couple, the one that made others believe in love again. But the cracks started small. Daniel had been taking on more freelance work, and I noticed he became more secretive about his projects. He'd step outside to take calls late at night, or he'd say he had to work late and come home exhausted. When I asked questions, he brushed me off, saying clients were demanding or deadlines were insane. At first, I believed him. Freelancing can be unpredictable, and I didn't want to be the clingy, suspicious girlfriend. But something fell off. He started carrying his phone everywhere, even to the bathroom. He changed his lock screen password. Once, when I accidentally glanced over while he was texting, he quickly tilted the screen away. My stomach churned with suspicion, but every time I tried to bring it up, he reassured me with that calm voice I trusted so much. "You know I'd never hurt you. I'm just stressed about work." I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. The truth came out in the ugliest way possible. One Friday evening, I was working late when my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. "You deserve to know what your boyfriend is really doing." Attached was a series of photos of Daniel with another woman. In the pictures, they were holding hands at a cafe, sitting close together at a bar, and in one he was kissing her forehead. My heart dropped into my stomach. I didn't want to believe it. I thought maybe it was old or staged or some sick prank. But when I confronted Daniel that night, the look on his face told me everything. He confessed. He admitted he'd been seeing someone else for almost 6 months. Her name was Melissa, another designer he had met through a freelance project. He swore it wasn't serious, that he'd been confused and stupid, but none of those words made a knife in my chest hurt any less. I kicked him out that night. I didn't scream. I didn't cry in front of him. I just told him to leave, and once the door shut behind him, I collapsed. A week later, I got another message from the same unknown number. This time it said, "Melissa isn't who you think she is." Attached was a screenshot of a Facebook profile. My blood ran cold. Melissa wasn't just another woman. She was Daniel's ex-girlfriend from years ago. The one he had told me had broken his heart. The one he swore he never spoke to anymore. It turned out that Melissa had been the one to reach out to him again, sliding back into his life under the guise of work. She knew exactly what she was doing. And Daniel, weak or stupid or both, let her back in. But it got worse. I started digging. I don't know what possessed me, anger, heartbreak, desperation. But I went down a rabbit hole, and what I found made me sick. Melissa hadn't just been with Daniel. She had been in contact with several other guys from our friend circle, stringing them along, causing fights, stirring up drama. It was like she got some twisted thrill from blowing up relationships. Daniel was just another pawn in her game. When I confronted Daniel with what I found, he broke down. He admitted Melissa had manipulated him, played on his insecurities, and made him question his relationship with me. She compared herself to me constantly, telling him I didn't really love him, that I was too good for him. I wanted to hate him, and I did for a while. But part of me also saw how broken he was, how ashamed he looked. That didn't mean I took him back, at least not right away. For months, we were apart. I focused on myself, leaned on my friends, went to therapy, and tried to rebuild the pieces of my life. Daniel, on his part, cut all ties with Melissa, got therapy himself, and kept trying to prove he had changed. He wrote me letters, actual handwritten letters, every week. Not begging me to take him back, but apologizing, taking responsibility, and telling me what he was learning about himself. At first, I threw them away, but eventually, I started reading them. One line stuck with me. I betrayed you and I betrayed myself. But if I can spend the rest of my life showing you that I'm not that man anymore, then I'll consider it the greatest privilege. It broke something open in me. A year after breakup, Daniel asked if we could meet for coffee. I almost said no, but curiosity won. When I saw him, he looked different, softer, humbled. He wasn't the cocky, confident man I had fallen for. He was quieter, more grounded. We talked for hours, and for the first time, I felt like he was truly being honest, without hiding behind charm or excuses. It wasn't immediate, but slowly, cautiously, we began to rebuild. Dates that felt like first dates. Conversations that dug deeper than before. Therapy, individually and together. It was hard, messy, and terrifying. But somehow it also felt right. 2 years later, Daniel proposed. Not in some grand, public way, but in our kitchen while we were cooking dinner. He said, I don't deserve a second chance, but I want to spend my life earning it every single day. I said yes, not because I had forgotten what happened. I never will, but because I saw the man he had become. We've been married 3 years now. It hasn't been a fairy tale. We still have scars, and trust is something we both continue to work on every day. But our love is stronger because of it. Sometimes I wonder if people will judge me for taking him back, for giving a cheater a second chance. But the truth is, people can change. Not all, but some. Daniel changed. And our love, battered and bruised, survived. And maybe that's the most unexpected twist of all.